Good afternoon, Grace. It is Tuesday, April 30th, and I suppose I should be talking to the interwebs and future Grace since you're on rehab. But either way, you'll be watching this at some point. Today I don't actually have a whole lot of time, and so I'm going to do sort of an impromptu one take thing with kind of a fun idea. You probably recognize this or not, but I have quote boxes with just fun little snippets that I've found over time. And I'm going to pull out a few quotes and see if it sparks any conversation, memories, anecdotes, whatever. All right, quote number one, and I haven't looked at these yet. They don't kill you unless you light them. And I've never lit one. It's a metaphor, see? You put the killing thing right between your teeth, but you don't give it the power to do its killing. Augustus Waters, The Fault in Our Stars. Well, you probably recognize this quote, as do most nerd fighters. And I have to say, I thought that was a perfect touch for Augustus as a character in that novel, in that he has this sort of twerk and he has this thing that in the critical point is when they first meet. It really does show Hazel's insecurity and sudden outburst of she really likes this guy and then cannot bring herself because he smokes, and it seems so insensitive to her that after all that he's been through, he would smoke. And then with him, it's all about power play. And that's his character's position throughout the novel. It's he wants to have control, he wants to be remembered, he wants to hold this legacy, and yet he doesn't have the power to do it. But he does have the power to put a cigarette in it between his teeth and not light it. It's him trying to take a grasp of anything that he can, while his life, he contains very little power. He contains no power over his disease, but he wants to be the conquering spirit. And the little way that John Green shows us this, I think, is through the cigarette as a metaphor. Plus, it's just badass and pretty freaking awesome. And then you get lines like, I'm a big believer in metaphor, Hazel Grace. And it's just, I love Augustus. All right, let's pull another one. If your horse says no, you either ask the wrong question or ask the question wrong. Pat Paralleli. If you don't know Pat Paralleli, he is a very famous horsemanship and trainer person. My riding instructor in Rutgersville is not a fan. I've always kind of respected him for some of his work. Some of his work is a bit commercialized, but this quote I just really like because I think it's very true, in that I will 99% of the time blame the rider, in that the horse isn't doing anything wrong. The horse is reacting to you and reacting in a way that one would expect a horse to. And it's your job to direct that energy and to then make the horse work in whatever way that you need. And I think that that's one of the big challenges of working with animals in general, is that they don't respond to questions with no. They respond to react to whatever you're doing, whatever body language you're giving them, whatever prior experience they're drawing from. They're going to react in that way. If you've taught them from a very young age to react in one way or another, they're going to maintain that over time. Okay. Should we do three maybe? All right. Okay. Rational arguments don't usually work on religious people. Otherwise, there wouldn't be religious people. Doris Egan. That's a bit of a racy argument, but I think that I put that in there because I think it holds a lot of truth. And the truth that it holds to me isn't one that casts out religion as irrational or something that shouldn't be followed and shouldn't be encouraged. To me, saying that rational arguments don't work on religious people is just saying that religion is beyond rational. It's beyond the idea that you need proof and facts and you need to feel something for it to be true. Because faith is believing in something that cannot be proved. And if you have faith, then rational arguments don't work. You can tell somebody there is no proof that there's the spiritual power, there's no way to test it, there's no way to feel it, therefore it's not true. And yet, somebody with faith will ignore rational arguments and look towards more spiritual and personal thoughts, which I think is very significant. And as somebody who is not completely away from spirituality, but is certainly not religious, to me it's a really good thought, just sort of the separation between rational arguments and what we hold to be true, as opposed to what you can hold personally to be true and spiritual beliefs. And that they don't always have to be separated so much, but rational arguments don't work on religious people. And I think that that's always something to kind of keep in mind, in that there's more to the world than ration and logic, and that there are arguments and beliefs that go beyond that and don't subvert to that. I'm kind of enjoying your liberty to not talk under 4 minutes, but I'm going to stick to three quotes so this isn't hopelessly long. I hope you have a lovely week on rehab.